33 years, and that's the most outrageous thing I've ever heard of happening in an area football game. It really cheated the players, coaches, and fans who really look forward to this game, and it just seems so ridiculous that something like that could happen. The biggest thing moving forward is for people not to give in to fear. I really hope that, I've already read one thing on social media where they said move the game to the day. I really hope they don't do that. This is a game that deserves to be played at night, albeit at the end of the regular season instead of the first game of the season. But really, keep the game where it's at. Don't let fear win.
Yeah, real quick, I want to ask a question. I want to bring in these guys, and I didn't tell them what I was going to do. Daryl, why don't you grab the mic real quick? How many weeks a year do you think you're here practicing for the season?
52.
You're here 52 weeks a year? Did you take any vacation at all this year?
No, sir.
Okay, so you don't take any vacation in the summer. So you guys as coaches are telling them, hey, you got to work, you got to train, you got to lift, be in the weight room, do all these things, practice year-round, get to the biggest game of the year, your rival, and the kids get cheated out of the biggest game of the year is insane because of some idiots in the stands. So I would say this, that what I would have loved to have seen is for them to come back, for the athletic directors to come back and say, hey, look, we're going to play this game, closed gate, on Saturday morning. We're going to finish it because they deserve to get their game. They only get 9 games in St. Lucie County anyways. Give them the full game. They missed 20 plus minutes of that game. So give them the full game, but I think the kids got cheated more than anything, and that's what's really disappointing.
Well, here's the thing, it would have been it was a 6th consecutive shutout for Central, but would it have finished the shutout? Perhaps, but perhaps not. With more than 20 minutes of play left, Westwood didn't get a chance to perhaps rally and make the game much more competitive.
Well, it's you know, in theory, a 3-score game. If you score once and you get the 2, all of a sudden it's a much different game. How does that change momentum and different things? So, you know, I think Central still wins based on what was happening, but it's still disappointing that, and it's a black eye for the community. Let's be honest. It looks bad around the state,
which I would say deserves better than that.
Absolutely. Besides that, on the field, biggest takeaway from week 1.
I think the biggest takeaway for me, Okeechobee is going to score a lot of points this season. They scored 41 in the Kickoff Classic against LaBelle, then came back with a terrific rally against Martin County, down 17 points, scored 35 in the last 25 minutes of the game to win 49-39. And as long as you've got a dynamic playmaker like Bubba Flood at quarterback, a lot of things can happen. If they stay healthy as a team, and especially if Bubba Flood stays healthy, this team could put up a lot of points in 2016.
Absolutely. Remember last week they had the 2 biggest weeks in area history combined against Eau Gallie and Bayside, but this is not two teams that have struggled. This is a Martin County team that is expecting to go back to the regional semis at least, and to score 49 in the season opener I think is a huge deal.
I think especially the way they did it by coming back from 17 down. It's hard to rally, especially against a team like Martin County, which has some credentials, so that's a huge win for Okeechobee.
You know, mine is there's a lot of good defense on the Treasure Coast. If you look at the Super 11, it's pretty much the all-area defensive team if it was all linebackers. John Carroll had a shutout. Fort Pierce Central had a shutout. Vero Beach had a shutout. Sebastian River had a shutout. These guys here at Centennial only give up, 2 field goals, right? They're awake. So Centennial's defense is looking good early, which was expected. South Fork, which they've always had offense, had they ever had the defense to go with it, they give up 170 and 1 touchdown to a pretty good Jensen Beach team, which we'll talk about here in a minute. But a lot of good defense on the Treasure Coast, and I would expect that to be the trend. I don't know if we're going to see 4 shutouts a week, but I bet you we see 1 or 2.
So looking at least early on, that we're going to have more balance this year. It's not going to be all offenses. Offenses really kind of dominated things in recent years, and I think the defenses are starting to catch up a little bit.
All right, so like we said, we're here at Centennial. We're very excited to be here. Thank you to the administration for opening up the gym. So, Dennis, let's ask this question. Centennial, are they trending up or are they going to stay the same? Now, I think the 2011 team that won at Vero in a televised game, and I've said this to Coach Parker before, best game plan I've seen against Lenny Jankowski coach team ever. While he's at Vero, they win the district that year. They've struggled the past couple of years. Are they trending up?
Well, I think it's a little too early to say. I think after 1 week, you've got to let things play out a little bit longer. But certainly when you have a defense that doesn't allow a touchdown, that's something you can definitely build on. They've got a running game, 100-yard running back for the 2nd week in a row.
Right.
And I think if you can get some more consistency out of the quarterback position, then you start to put pieces together, and that's how you start winning games.
Let's ask you this. You said you've watched some film on Jensen. That's who you guys are playing this week. Obviously, they're very similar to you guys. They're going to run the ball a lot.
Yeah.
What are you expecting this week, and what do you think is the key to beating these guys?
I expect we go out there and dominate. And we got to come out and be physical because they do run the ball a lot, but I feel if we come out and hit them in the mouth, it shouldn't be too much.
Awesome, appreciate it. Thanks. Why don't you give that to your coach?
Coach Parker, you've been using two quarterbacks. What's the biggest challenge in preparing two quarterbacks for a game?
Well, it's catch-22. For us, it takes more time. You want to put in certain packages, but on the other side, the opponent has to prepare for two different styles. So that's an advantage for us.
What's the thing you liked most about the defense last week, besides the fact that it didn't allow a touchdown? What's the thing that really stood out?
We were put in some bad positions, I think inside the 10 twice, and we did not give up a touchdown. That's huge. That is very big.
And as you prepare for Jensen Beach this week, what's going to be the biggest key, you think, Friday night?
Well, we just got to make sure we take care of our assignments. They're a talented team. They have kids who can break it at any time. So we got to make sure we're in position. We tackle well. Like everybody else last week, we weren't able to get outside enough. If we have to come in the gym and tackle, we will come in the gym and tackle.
Coach, thank you.
I'm getting out of here before practice starts for sure. All right, Dennis, let's go through week 2 on the Treasure Coast. Pair of teams that I think are a little disappointed after last week. Westwood at County. How do you think this game goes?
You know, both teams obviously disappointed with week 1. Martin County had the 17-point lead, couldn't hold it against Okeechobee, and Westwood obviously being shut out by Fort Pierce Central was something I think a lot of people did not expect. Martin County won this game 31-6 last year. I think there's a lot of pressure on Martin County. I think they respond. I think they win this 27-17.
Yeah, I think we're going to see a lot more points from Westwood this week. I don't think they get shut out again. I think that Martin County, though, will sell out against Marcus Burgess and do everything they have to do to stop him. I think you're looking at Martin County, though, I think wins this one 31-28. I think it's going to be a high-scoring game again. John Carroll, Sebastian River.
Both teams opened with impressive shutouts a week ago. John Carroll beat Fort St. Lucie 35-0, while Sebastian River defeated Titusville 14-0. So I think it's going to be a lower scoring game, but I think ultimately Sebastian River gets the nod 20-7.
Yeah, I would say any Sebastian River game, take the under. I don't even know what it is. Even if it's 0, take the under because they're not going to score a ton of points, and they're okay with that. I think they're going to grind it out. I think this is going to be 14-7. Sebastian River takes this one. Aquila Christian, St. Ed. St. Ed's looking to get its first win of the year. Can they do it?
I think they're going to have trouble. Both teams are coming off losses, but St. Edward's finished last week's loss to Moorhaven with only 12 healthy players, so that's always an issue. I think Alcala wins this one 17-14.
Yeah, just in case it's your first time being introduced to football, and if it is, that's weird. You need 11 on the field, so having 12 total is, what's the word? Bad. That's not good. I think I agree with you. I think it's going to be a battle of attrition and the team with more than 12 wins, so I think Aquila wins 20-7. South Fork, John I. Leonard.
South Fork tries to start 2-0 for the second consecutive week, and I really like their chances. They played a pretty complete game against Jensen Beach, I thought, last week. Not only the ability to throw the football, but to run the football and make plays on defense and special teams. I think they had a pump block recovery for a touchdown. When you get those extra elements in a game, it takes the pressure off one facet or the other having to carry the load. So I look for South Fork to win this game 24-10.
Yeah, I really like South Fork early, and I like that their defense is getting takeaways. They've had, I believe it's 7, including Kickoff Classic. They give up the ball on the opening kick last week. In the first drive, they get an interception. You block the punt. I'm going to say South Fork 31-17. I like what they're doing. Jupiter at Treasure Coast. Treasure Coast undefeated. Didn't play last week. A couple boos here from the two people paying attention. All right, appreciate that. Treasure Coast, Jupiter, what do you think?
Talk about night and day. A year ago, Treasure Coast was coming off a winless season and lots of questions, people wondering what they could do. They had a terrific turnaround season, and it began with a 28-13 win against Jupiter. Now it's Jupiter that's lost 18 consecutive games, but I think Treasure Coast is going to continue to build on what they did last year. I think they win this game 28-12. Yeah,
I think Treasure Coast, I think offense, defense is going to be too much for Jupiter. I like your score, but I'm going to go a little different, 28-6. I think they're going to do very well defensively. Vero Beach, Palm Beach Central.
Well, Vero Beach has won 25 consecutive regular season games, and a win Friday would tie the all-time area record for consecutive regular season wins. I think Vero Beach is looking very sharp in the early season, and I think they're going to be too much for a Palm Beach Central team that surprised Fort Pierce Central in the Kickoff Classic. So you don't want to overlook anybody, but I still think the way that Vero Beach has been playing, the combination again of a versatile offense and a very good defense, I think 32-14 Vero Beach.
Why you think they give up 14?
I think Palm Beach Central will make some plays.
45-6. Vero Beach wins. They got too much on both sides of the ball. All right, last one. These guys might be interested to hear you pick this one. Centennial at Jensen Beach.
Well, the one thing that sticks in your mind is last year's score. Jensen Beach won 45-0, and I can tell you that's not going to be the repeat this week. Although I'm the same guy that sat here last week and said Westwood was definitely going to score against Central. So.
I picked Westwood, so let's not go there.
But I think that both teams had difficulty finding the end zone last week. But I like the fact that Centennial's defense did not allow a touchdown. I think that's a big stat going in. They appear to be very confident. It's a tough assignment, but I think they're going to win a low-scoring game. Centennial beats Jensen 14-8.
Wow. 14-8. For a team that talks about being physical and dominant, I'm a little no. You know what? I think this is two teams that want to do the same thing. They want to be physical. They want to run the ball. They want to stop the run. It's mirror images of each other. I do like what Centennial did last week. I think that they can build off that. I think if they can especially improve on some special teams things, they're going to be better. Stopping Ty Jackson in special teams is going to be a chore for anybody. I think Centennial wins this one 14-13. I think it's going to be that close, and the Eagles come out with a win and the first win of the season, 14-13.
One more question. You've covered this for a lot of years. You've covered it for a lot of years. How much pressure do you think are on teams when they're 0-1 and they're trying not to go 0-2?
It's a great question. I think we're going to look at that Friday online, but I think that when you're talking about 0-1, especially if you struggled the Kickoff Classic, even if you won but you didn't play well, this is almost a must-win game. It's not, because it's not district play, but you don't want to start going 0-2, 0-3, 0-4. You've got to get some momentum going, and I think this is a huge week for teams that are 0-1. So when you look at Jensen Beach Centennial, when you look at a Martin County Westwood, these are big games for these coaching staffs to go, let's get something positive going, and I think they're going to get something good happening here. We want to hear back from you all week. Hashtag TC PrepZone. Coach Parker's going to get some gym mats because it's raining outside, and he said you're going to do some hitting, so we're going to get out of the way of that. Thank you for joining us. See you next week.
See ya.